Hi, so what do you think about reading? Do you love it or do you hate it? Well, today I'm going to chat about the amazing benefits of reading because reading truly changed my life in a really, really positive way. I started reading at a really young age. I think I must have been about 5 years old. And I just fell in love with reading. Going to the library to me was like going to a magical place because with reading, you learn so much about the world, about other people. You're reading their thoughts. And that's why reading can be really great because it helps you to become more empathetic. I remember reading this book called April Fool's Day, and it was about this dad and his son was suffering from hemophilia, whereby he actually became HIV positive through a blood transfusion. And it's a true story. And well, it was a very sad ending, let's say. And I learnt about the love for a father for his son and letting go. And it was as if I was with them because some stories, they actually become so alive when you're reading it. It's like you are there with the person. And you may never ever get to meet the person, but you become so much part of their world. They become, or rather, they become so much part of your world because you are learning about their journey. And it's so powerful because often we think, how can we relate to this person? How can we relate to that person? Their lives are so different from ours. But when you read stories about other people, you get to understand their world because everybody understands the world differently. Reading definitely expands your imagination. I remember reading Enid Blyton's books like Up the Faraway Tree and The Wishing Chair, and I used to be so excited about reading those books because I could imagine the wishing chair. I could imagine, Up the Faraway Tree, what it would look like. And it makes you feel more creative as a person as well because your imagination is able to conjure up these images which exist outside of your normal day-to-day life. So when we say reading transports you to different places through your imagination, it really, really does. Because as a child, these books were just so magical to me, so it really felt like I was part of that journey of going to these wonderful places. And I remember coming back from school and being so excited to read because I was just learning so much. And that's the thing about reading. It makes you learn so much, whether it's fiction or nonfiction. And then talking about nonfiction books, they can also help you get closer to your goals. Because think about it. You may think, okay, I really like this person. He's a great business person. I don't think I'll ever get to meet him, but let me read a book about how he became successful. And then that person is imparting their knowledge through words, through a book, and you are then reading it and absorbing that information, and hopefully you can then apply that information. So reading books like Richard Branson's books, if you really like him, or reading about Bill Gates, or reading about even people that are inspirational to you, people who have done amazing things in the world. I mean, reading also reduces stress because when you start reading, you feel relaxed. And I would suggest, read before you go to bed. It's really helpful. Instead of being on your device, try reading. And if you think that you don't like reading, try reading just for a few minutes a day. And also for people who say that they don't like reading, maybe you aren't reading the types of books that you enjoy. Maybe try different types of books until you find the type that you actually do enjoy. There's a book out there for everyone. You just haven't found it yet. And don't deny yourself the pleasure of reading because it really is so amazing. Reading has been one of the best things for me. It really, really has. It's made me learn. It's made me understand the world better. It's made me learn new skills. And it's been a place where the library, for instance, has been a place where I just feel so relaxed. And when I have my books from the library, I am so happy. I'm like absolutely thrilled when I get those books from the library, because it's like I'm going to discover so many new things. So give reading a chance, really, really give reading a chance. Reading also definitely improves your communication skills, because think about it. When you read and you learn new words and you know how to put those words in a sentence, then when you speak, it's easier to speak, because you don't have to think very hard about what words to use when you're conversing with someone. So reading definitely helps with your communication skills, and it makes you feel more confident when you are speaking. Reading also helps with your writing abilities, for sure, because think about it. You now know what sentences are used in various books. And when you are writing about something, you're able to use words that make sense. You're able to use words in the correct sequence. You're able to understand what makes a good paragraph, what makes a good book. Even if you want to write a book, having read many books, you will be able to write a book far more easier than if you haven't ever read books before. So reading definitely helps both your speaking ability as well as your written ability. Reading also improves your focus, because when you are reading, you have to pay attention to the words in the book. You aren't distracted by anything else. So you're actually paying attention to the book and what the author is trying to convey. So it definitely helps with your focus. And in a world where we can often be so distracted, it's lovely to be able to focus on one thing at a specific time, and reading enables you to do that. Another benefit of reading is that it's like self-care for yourself, right? Because when you read, you're spending time on your own with yes, you're reading somebody else's thoughts, but you're spending time on your own and you're learning about the world, and you're dedicating time and that effort of reading for you to grow as a person, for you to understand the world better, for you to understand people better. So it's just like having your alone time, which is so necessary, because in today's world, everything can be really fast paced. So reading helps you slow down a bit, because I'm not saying be a really, really fast reader. No, if you like to read slowly and really savor every single page and all the words, then do that, because it's absolute joy to do that. I know that when I finish a book, I actually close the book and hold it for a little while, because I just love reading that much, you know. I feel like I want the message of the book I want to remember it, because every book that you really enjoy, it's like a little treasure. You know, it really is like a little treasure, because it's providing such a wealth of information for you. It's some books are funny, you know, not every book is serious. Not every book is something that you have to study. No, not by any means. Many books can be really, really light-hearted. So enjoy like a range of books. Sometimes you may be in a mood to read something serious, but sometimes you may just want to be able to laugh. And I've read books where I've laughed out loud because it's just been hilarious. I remember reading Sue Townsend's books, Adrian Mole, Diary of Adrian Mole, and I read so many of those books, and it was so funny reading it as a teenager. It was just hilarious to read those books. And I actually read like the Bridget Jones books before they came out as movies. And when I was reading it, I thought, you know, they should actually make a movie out of this book, and they did. So reading, it just opens up worlds of possibilities for you, because the more you read, the more you know. You become more knowledgeable about things. You're then be able to think about things that you haven't previously thought about, because now you have the knowledge about those specific things. For example, and my voice is going because I'm not that well. I'm still recovering from the flu. Just say you didn't know much about mental health and the importance of mental health. You had a slight understanding of it, but you didn't have an in-depth knowledge about it. And maybe you read a book about somebody who was going through mental health issues, and that book would now help you whenever you encounter other people who are going through mental health issues, or if you then go through mental health issues, you are able to then understand it better because you've read about it. So reading really does help you explore issues that you wouldn't have previously thought about. And it gives you tools to understand what other people are going through. And in a world where we can often feel like nobody is listening to us or nobody understands us, I think that reading helps bridge that gap between understanding what somebody is going through and not understanding what they're going through. Because knowledge is so powerful. Knowledge helps us to really be there for people and even be there for ourselves. So I would say to you that if you love reading, I completely understand where you're coming from because I love it too. And if you haven't read in a while, grab a book and read and get back to your love of reading. And if you don't like reading, then I would suggest that you don't give up on reading. Try to pick a book, find a book that will actually resonate with you, that you will actually feel like, wow, this is really helpful, this is enjoyable. And then you'll be welcomed into this wonderful world of reading and books. And you'll see that once you actually start to enjoy reading, that you won't want to stop. It will become a part of who you are because you actually feel like you're missing something when you're not reading. You actually feel like, oh, I want to read. I want to actually get a book and I want to read. Life is filled with wonderful things. And at the top of my list, I would say reading is one of those wonderful things because without reading, I wouldn't have been able to have understood the world in the way that I currently do. I wouldn't have been able to understand people in the way that I do. And I don't mean to say that I understand the world and understand people perfectly. Absolutely not. But I think it's helped me to get a better sense of things. And reading is just an absolute joy. It really, really is. It's an absolute joy. It is not a waste of time. In fact, it is an investment in your time, if anything. It is an absolute investment in your time. You cannot go wrong with reading. You will understand that through reading, it just takes you to places without even you having to leave the comfort of your home. It makes you understand people's stories without even being physically part of their story. It makes you learn about the past in ways that you could have never have imagined before. And it makes you aware of things that are currently happening in the world as well. And even if you didn't enjoy reading as a child and you're now an adult, it's never too late to start reading. It's never too late to immerse yourself in the world of books. So thank you so much for watching. Do like, share, and subscribe. And thank you so much for being part of this community. Comment below and let me know a bit about yourself. And also let me know, do you like reading or do you not? What are your thoughts of reading? What are your thoughts about reading? And you can watch this video about positive self-talk. Until next time, bye-bye. Take care.